Tree here. I wanted to give you guys an update. We're going on 3.5, almost 4 months now. I don't know, it's hard to keep track. I know it was back in April when I had my extractions done and immediate dentures placed. And you know, like you, I have been following other people's videos. I follow Bill, I follow Margaret, I follow Shotgun Autumn, I follow Lillian Darling. So, you know, there's a lot of people that I subscribe to and watch just so that, you know, I can get information on how other people do what they do. And if you are like me, you have followed some of these names as well. And, you know, I absolutely love Margaret's videos. I love what she does in her videos. I love how she, you know, talks about different products that she uses. And it's awesome. And I love her videos and I love following her and I'll keep following her. Same thing with Bill. You know, he talks about the products he uses. And, you know, the great thing about Bill and Margaret is that, you know, they talk about their product and only their product. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, so I get a little bit of information from Bill, I get a little information from Margaret, and then I can combine the two together to figure out, you know, what would work for me. So if you guys have been following my videos, you know that I've tried DensureFit. DensureFit is, you know, I love it. It's great stuff. There's no doubt about it, hands down. DensureFit is an awesome product and it's amazing. Okay, yeah, there's a couple weird things about it when it comes to, you know, not being able to save whatever's left over in the tube because you don't have tips and all that stuff, and that's okay, you know, but once you get the hang of applying it and working with it, it's great stuff. And customer service, Tommy and, I might be saying her name wrong. That's terrible. I'm really sorry. But, you know, all the people over there at DensureFit, they're amazing, really sweet and nice. So I wanted to try the comfort lining. You know, Margaret always talks about that stuff, and I wanted to give it a shot, you know, because, hey, you know, I want to use what's going to work. And the stuff that's out there, you know, what works for everybody is totally different. You know, what works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me, you know, and that's okay. So my video and my channel is about, you know, trying out different products also. So, you know, I am doing this video because one of the things that I was frustrated about was that I couldn't get a good comparison. I couldn't get a good vice versa because, you know, a lot of people didn't try different things. Well, bottom line is I've tried both. I've tried DensureFit and I've now tried the comfort lining, which is in my mouth right now. I got the comfort lining in the mail today, and comfort lining customer service is fantastic. They are great. I believe her name is Jen. She's really, really sweet and accommodating, and you know, I think it's really great to be able to talk to people who have, you know, wonderful customer service, and she did. So I got the comfort lining in the mail today. And a couple things, you know, I probably should have videotaped it, but then again, the more I think about me trying to videotape what I went through today for the application, is probably a good thing that I didn't videotape it. I was doing a lot of cussing. Anyway, it's not a terrible product, but comfort lining is not for me, at least not for my immediate dentures. Now, mind you, Bill has his permanent, and Margaret has her permanents, or at least her second set is permanent. I'm pretty sure hers are permanent. So, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but mine are not permanent. Mine are immediate dentures. So, you know, the material that my teeth are made out of may be of a lower quality than theirs. I don't know. And I don't know if that has anything to do with how certain products work. Okay, so keep that in mind while I talk to you. This is not a video downing any particular product, but it took me a very long time to get comfort lining to work, and even now it's still not working properly. So with that being said, you know, I followed the directions. I actually watched Margaret's videos a few times just to make sure that I was doing things right. And then I read the instructions and put the water in the microwave, heat it up to boiling. Put the tube of comfort lining in there, let it sit for 20 minutes. When I opened the cap to check on it, it was still very hard after 20 minutes. It's like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So I put the water back in the I took the comfort lining out, put the water back in the microwave, and boiled it again for another 2 minutes. When it came out, I put the comfort lining in there and let it sit. This time it sat for about 5 minutes, I believe. And it finally got soft enough, almost liquefied. So the first time I applied it, I tried to apply it and I was trying to go fast because parts of it were sticking to the denture, parts of it weren't sticking to the denture, but it was pretty like pretty globby and sticky and stuff like that. But you know, when I got it in the places where I knew I needed, you know, a filler, when I went to go put it in my mouth, the stuff had already hardened. I mean, it wasn't like 10 seconds. 10 seconds from taking it out, applying it onto the denture, and getting it into my mouth. It was about 10-15 seconds, and it was already too hard. So that's red flag number 1 for me. So then I took the stuff off the denture and kind of did what Margaret did in her video just to see, you know, if it would work, and put what I took off the denture in the hot water. It got really, really soft and gooey. So then I took it and I being really soft and gooey, took it and put it on the denture and tried to spread it. Well, because it was wet, it was not sticking to the denture at all. So I couldn't even get it on the denture. Then I put it back in the hot water and then tried to do this with it to make it like a skinny line so that I could line it on the trough of my denture. And by the time I was able to get it into my mouth, rolled and shaped and into my mouth, too soft. So then I took it out, I rolled it again, but then after rolling it, I put it in hot water so that it would get really soft and gooey and whatever. Took it out, it was soft and gooey, I put it in the denture, put it in my mouth, and this time it was just in the trough, nothing on the roof of my mouth. Put it in my mouth, bit down hard. Now, when I did this, there was this giant space on the palate of my denture, and even though I was biting really hard. So I was biting really hard. I held it there, just kept biting for 3 minutes. Kept biting, kept biting, kept biting. Finally, I let go of the bite and then took the denture out, and the stuff came out right out. Like, it didn't stick to the denture at all. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this amount is a wash. So at this point, I said, okay, let me just go ahead and start from scratch. So boiled up the water again in the cup, put the tube in the boiling water, and the piece that I've been trying to futz around with, I just put it to the side. So I boiled the water, did it again, left it in a little bit longer. This time it was, you know, pretty okay. But instead, when I was pulling it out of the tube and putting it in the trough, and I just put it in the trough. So then I put it in the trough and then I put it in my mouth. Giant gap, but at least this time it sort of was sticking to the denture. And then there was too much of a gap on the palate, so I put it in the water again, then took it out, put some on the palate, pushed it up in there. And then it was like, seemed to work. I was missing some on one side and I needed to put more on that side, and then there was too much on this side and it was kind of like coming out. So then after it was coming out, and it was a lot coming out, so I trimmed it like the video says. But what I had noticed, especially in the trough area, is that it just pulls right away. It just pulls away. So I said, all right. So I got trimmed it, and then I took the piece that I trimmed and put it on the space that was missing stuff altogether. Put it in there. And of course it was too cold. So I did what you're not supposed to do, and that was dip half my dentures into the boiling water just to get the stuff gooey wet while on the denture so I didn't have to pull it off the denture. It was the only way I could do it. So I did that, and I just did the back half so that it got soft enough and pliable enough so that I could do it. So after I put it in the boiling hot water for about maybe 20 seconds, which was enough. I didn't want to do too much because I don't want to warp my dentures. And then put it in my mouth real fast and pushed on it real hard, and it oozed out. So then I took them out again, turned it around. This time I dipped the front part into the water. Did the same thing. It got ooey gooey in the denture. Took it out, put it into my mouth. But because the stuff is getting wet, it's causing it to not stick to the denture. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just keep it in my mouth. And that's what I did. I've kept it in my mouth. Now, a couple things that is weird about it. So because there's no way to put this stuff on thin. I'm sorry. There's no way to put it on thin. I tried. By the time you get it to go thin enough, it's too cold. It's too cool. It won't conform to the roof of your mouth at all. So there's no getting it thin. So now I have this thick stuff in my mouth. And when I smile, look at all that gum. That looks like garbage. Now, granted, I know that I am not experienced with comfort lining. It's a completely different product than DensureFit. It really is. It seems to have good suction. But I haven't tried taking them out yet because I'm worried that the stuff is going to come right out because I had to wet it in order to make it conform a little bit. Stuff's too thick. So, I don't know. I'm about to take it out just to show you, but I'm not showing you my face, but I'm going to show you the denture. So I'm just going to move this down so that you can see what I'm talking about, and hopefully, hold on. So this is the denture, okay? This is all the excess. Now you see, it comes right off. It's not even stuck. Not even stuck to it. And that's after it got ooey gooey. Here's the back half. See? Lifts right up. Not even stuck to it at all. There's all this excess that I really need to cut, but it's like I'm afraid to cut it because then it won't stay on at all. So that's what it looks like. It's clear, sure, it's comfortable, yeah. But it's so thick. I'm gonna put it back in my mouth. I'm glad it didn't come out when I took it out. Would I be able to eat? I don't know. No. See, look, it lifts in the back. No suction. No suction. So, I'm sorry to say, comfort lining for me is a no-go. It's comfortable. I have enough suction to talk, but you can't get the product thin enough to give you just this thin lining. And that's all I really need is a thin lining, enough to create a suction so that they stay in my mouth. But instead I have a thick lining, which now gives me a retarded looking grin, which is not attractive. So this stuff's coming out before I go to bed. I'm sorry, Margaret. I love your videos and your product. You look beautiful. And this product works really well in your mouth. And comfort lining looks really good on your teeth. And, you know, so you are beautiful and I love your videos, and I will continue to follow you because I like your videos and I like you and you're such a sweetheart. But for me, Comfort Lining is definite thumbs down. I'm so sorry, Comfort Lining, but it's just not a good product for me. That's not to say it's not a good product for you, and it's not to say it's not a good product for Margaret. It's, you know, a decent product. It's just not good for me. So I do apologize, but I felt obligated. If I'm going to do an update, everybody's got videos on this and videos on that. If I'm going to do an update, I'm going to do a real review with a real comparison based on other products I've used. I have to. I feel compelled to do that because I struggled when I was trying to find comparisons. So, you know, neither one of these companies have sponsored me. My videos are not sponsored by them. My videos are completely just straight up reviews on the product. And, you know, like I said, you know, both products are good. They're both very different. They're very different products. But the Comfort Lining was just too difficult for me to work with. And DentureFit is hard too to work with. I got news for you. It hardens up really fast. And there is no softening that stuff up once it's hard. Once it's hard, you're finished. So, but the DentureFit, you have a little bit more time to put it in the denture and get it in your mouth real quick. And it won't, like, as you're putting it in your denture, it doesn't lift up off your denture. Whereas this stuff, it wasn't really sticking to the denture. And if the denture's wet, forget it. If the product, the gooey product gets wet, forget it. It doesn't stick to the denture. It just comes right off. So for me, I'm not liking it. And again, remember, this could be because I have immediate dentures. This stuff might not be good for immediate dentures. So when I get my permanent set, when I need, you know, adhesive or a lining, I will try both products again and see which one I like the best. So again, that's my review of Comfort Lining, and that is also my DentureFit Comfort Lining vice versa. For me, DentureFit wins. I will see you guys later. Bill, Margaret, love you. And it wasn't a contest, but I do love you guys. And, you know, I will always continue to watch your videos. Thank you so much for all my subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. I will chat at you later. Yeah!